quick.
See, but now is that stuff like the it's like the RID stuff, like really thumbed down and meant for children and stuff like that.
I mean, it's meant for kids, but like, man, like looking at how thin this plastic is. Like, so I actually had to get rid of my my Chug Jetfire, right? Well, not my Chug Jetfire, my Thrilling 30 Jetfire. He took a 4-foot shelf dive, and the whole fast pack shattered into a million sharp pieces. Like, it was like glass shattering. And I'm like, holy fuck, I would not give this to a kid, man.
Yeah. And I remember you saying that before when you didn't even feel comfortable giving them as Christmas gifts and stuff, you know?
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah. But like you see this and you're like, okay, Bumblebee in robot mode. Okay, he doesn't have leg articulation. What are these, like Legends class figures? And they're 6 to 7 inch figures. So you know they're probably going to put them at that $15 price point.
Yeah. Oh, well, just a picture of that Bumblebee from the first picture you see from that link, and it looks like trash.
Yeah. You look at the car mode, and like the windows are now hollow pieces, and then look at Grimlock's legs. And then when you get the Prime, and like
that is horrible.
Look where his cab is in the box.
Oh no.
Yeah, man.
That's borderline unacceptable right there.
I wouldn't even say it's borderline. I'd say it's flat out unacceptable. I mean,
that literally looks like it's for like a 1-year-old or something like that.
Well, even there, it's like just how thin that plastic is. Like, you know, kid steps on it, it basically, you know, forms like a bunch of like preschool shivs. You know,
it's fucking crazy. All right, maybe we'll get back to this because that's definitely worth discussing. Jesus Christ. All right. What's up, everybody? Eric and BX here, and welcome to the newest podcast coming at you each and every single week here on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. Welcome to episode 3 of Breaking the Mold. If audio is your preferred platform, you can subscribe on iTunes and Google Play through Podcast Addict. Please remember to subscribe, leave a 5-star review as it really helps the show out. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free, will not cost a thing. And please remember to hop into the live chat below. We'll be shouting out everybody in the chat towards the end of the live stream. Just as well, this is week 3 of the giveaway. So just hop into the chat, say hello. That's all you got to do. All you have to do is just participate for your chance to win. And we're going to do that towards the end of the show as well. Let's say what's up to the rest of the crew. How are you today, man? What's happening?
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Brian?
Hi, buddy.
I made it in just in time.
Just in time, Bob.
Fuck Lego robots, so I say.
Happy Tuesday. All right, next up, Big Dom. How are you?
How you doing, guys? Glad to be here. Enjoying my 4-day weekend.
Nice.
I'm jealous, but I can't be because I just came.
Yeah, you can't be jealous.
I know.
Stop it.
I know. I'll stop. All right, Extra Zero. What's up, Pop?
How's it going, everybody? Glad to be here another Tuesday. Come to bring the energy. Ready to get this show on the road. We got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm pretty excited, man.
Yeah, baby.
Awesome. All right, G Money.
Guys, what's happening? I am not like Dom. I did not have a 4-day weekend. So I am not calm and relaxed, but no, I am. It is. Yeah, we got some great things I think to share and to kind of discuss and maybe debate a little bit tonight. So.
All right, JD, how are you?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, JD.
Hi, JD.
What's going on out there, huh? Everybody staying warm and.
For now.
Trying. You see me? I'm all bundled up over here, you know?
Yeah.
Not feeling too well. Feeling like the outbreak monkey.
It's snowing pretty good here. The outbreak monkey.
All right. Well, let's run it back real quick for some collect and connect. So, Brinkalizer, I'll start with you.
All right. From the Jackal Squad, I got my birthday gift, which was Fans Hobby Power Baser. He's right there next to his. I think I have it right. He's next to Overlord. Didn't they fight or something in one of the right somethings? So they look pretty good together. I know that. What? What's his name now? What's the mastermind dude's name? The master dude, the mastermaid's.
Carnifex.
Carnifex, yes, Carnifex. I know he's Chug and Power Base is supposed to be MP, but I think they're fine. And just in the mail today, I got the Synicus Asterisk mode, which
Nice.
I think it was Dom and Jordan convinced me to buy late night a couple nights ago.
We did.
And so
was it a drunk night?
No, it wasn't.
It was too drunk for a night.
Yeah. Took a while to get here.
Yeah, you're showing off your shelf life.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got this shelf with all these black bots, and I think Dom was the one that suggested, he's like, that Synicus Asterisk mode would really tie the shelf together. And I found one on eBay, and I was like, well, Brian, if you don't buy it, I will.
Fuck you guys, double team me.
Realm of enablers.
That's right. So, and then of course on the Kinect front, fresh off of Dustapalooza, my back is killing me for sleeping on the floor on top of a sleeping bag. But other than that, it's good to go.
Awesome. If anybody wanted to connect with you, where could they find you?
Oh, thank you for reminding me. If you'd like to connect with me and give me secrets on making my back feel better, you can reach me in the Facebook Messenger as Brian Brink, and also on Instagram at Brinkalizer.
You're not Pickle Brink anywhere?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for it to really catch on.
All right, Big Dom.
What's going on, guys? Collecting Connect, I just want to shout out to you, Jose, for the heads up on the Hasbro exclusive web exclusive. What's that guy?
Grotesque. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you very much, sir.
No problem, brother.
Because he was going for ridiculous amounts of money, and after they put it up on a sneak attack, I guess you can call it.
Yeah.
And,
without warning.
Without warning, but I was not going to pay those ridiculous prices. I was hoping it would continue the same trail that RC did and jump on Toys R Us eventually, and it did, but it sold out quick. But then the second issue came out, which is when I got on board. So
patience pays.
Yes,
that's right. Definitely saves pockets.
That's a weird one though, because I don't think there's ever been a release like that where both releases, like, so when it first came out on Hasbro Toy Shop, it was a complete surprise. And then when it hit Toys R Us, complete surprise again. With RC, they like told you it was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But everybody was assuming.
I didn't even know that character was coming.
Due to the RC, everyone was assuming that the Grotesque was going to hit on the website eventually. But when it did, it sold out real quick. And I hate the fact that they had like a limit per 2 at the first go around. Now was with limit to 1 when the second release on the website came out. So, but at least everybody, everyone got it. Who wanted it? It was available for a while, but I don't know if it's still available. It probably is. But I'm glad that I grabbed it because I'm still hunting for a what's one of those last figures that came out for Combiner Wars?
Slug Slingers?
No, not the Combiner Wars.
Titans Return?
No, Combiner Wars. The Voyager Skylinks came out. I still need to pick up one of those.
Gotcha.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
So,
I'll keep a lookout just in case.
I've been on a hunt for a good, decent price. I know they ran for like $24, $26 in retail, but I've seen them go down as low as $32. But I'll jump on them whenever I can get a good, decent price for it.
All right.
So, because that was one of those figures that came out at the end of the run, and it was hard to get.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll have a second chance. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right. And of course, we all connected this weekend. It was definitely good to see you again.
Yes.
All right. Extra. What about you?
So on the collect front, I got a couple things. I got my first Figma with QC issues. I got the Figma Samus, but her left leg is all screwed up. It's got messed up paint, and the hips piece broke off on me. So I'm hoping Xavier Cal Customs can take care of me. If not, I'm still going to get another one because it's an awesome figure from what I can tell so far. I also broke my resolution unfortunately. I'm a prime collector, like the Brinkalizer, and I spent $50 on an Orion PAX. And
good way to think about it.
I have mixed feelings about it. One thing nobody's doing is like I do this with the back, so it doesn't look like it's a truck back. It still looks horrible, but it's better. Also, I got a new headset here, primarily from my Xbox One. This is the Plantronics Rig set, and I'm digging it. It's wireless. I hope I sound good. So anybody
something looked different about you.
A little.
I was gonna ask if you had a different haircut or something.
Yeah, I know. I got it. Either tomorrow, if it doesn't snow, I'm gonna go get this shaved again. It grows fast, so
yeah.
And then on the Connect front of things, I linked up with Lionel Medina. I got him his prize out. He's very appreciative. Lionel, I'm looking forward to your photos. So glad to get that out to you. Shout out real quick in the chat. Let's see who said it. Rogue War 71 reminds you to kill bots to smash that like button. So make sure you're doing that. So I appreciate that. Appreciate the hype. If you want to connect with me, you can find me in the Facebook groups as James Jordan. You can find me on Twitter at The Original Zero. You can find me on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network as Extra Zero. So
awesome. All right, G Money. What about you, bro?
Dude, so let's see. On the, I'm gonna take a break from the wellness stuff this week. I've got to get some stats out, for that. Hopefully by the end of the night tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But everyone did make their check-in on Sunday, so I appreciate that. Especially those of us that were in attendance at Dustapalooza. Connecting wise, I'm just gonna say, Brian, I think you called me out. I don't know how much we'll go into it, but had just a really good time seeing a lot of cool different people there coming through. It's great that Dust opened up his home for us for that. Apparently, when anyone who knows me knows a couple things, right? I don't really drink that much, and in this setting, I was in a nice, safe place, so I partook in a few drinks early in the day. So I rose quickly, and then I steadied and plateaued. But apparently, I know this about myself. When I do drink, I'm a very happy-go-lucky, person. When I've got a few beverages, and I tend to tell a lot of dad jokes. So I think I was doing the thumb trick and a whole bunch of other nonsense.
Dude, you did the thumb trick, and you almost rolled off the couch laughing. That was hilarious.
Well, yeah, if you can't entertain yourself, right? It's I guess it could always be worse, right? But no, that was a really cool time to connect with people there. So
it was awesome to see the good time that you were having.
Oh, I really did too. And the hard part, I'll just say, is so it's about a 4-hour drive for me. Anytime I do one of these events, kind of in the New Jersey area, give or take a little bit. So by 10 o'clock that night, man, it just made for a long day for me, and I couldn't hang with those guys much later than that. But the other neat thing is when we get togethers like that, you get a chance to do a little the kind of like the toy reviews and hang out. And Jose, thanks a lot. I think my best haul for the week was that Figma Deadpool, which I really like quite a bit. I got to mess with it, and then I got to bring it home with me. So I appreciate that. He looks great on my display right there. So
enjoy man.
So yeah, and if anyone wants to kind of catch up, Gary Allen in the Facebook groups. I've got G Money with a GEE 1010 on Instagram, and happy to talk and chat and wellness or toys or life or whatever else comes up.
Nice, awesome.
Your handle spelled out GEE. Now that I know that now that I know that the thumb joke is your bag, dude, that just totally makes total sense to me. Like, I would expect more like G_money or something like that.
Yeah,
got your nose money.
Yeah, listen, hey, I didn't pull any coins out of any ears. However,
should we be scared for NJCC?
I'll learn some. I'll have to update the repertoire for there.
Awesome. All right, JD, how about you, brother?
I didn't get a whole lot. Extra Zero, I kind of folded and bought a couple Hasbro Transformers.
I don't blame you.
Well,
Resolutions out the window. It's not even February 1st.
I know, right?
Hey, at least I'm eating right.
Yeah, I bought some. Got a swoop and a slag and a Grimlock. Opened that Grimlock and immediately was, a realm of regret sort of situation.
Okay.
Today I got the MP Sunstreaker and the War Giant. What else did I get? Oh, I got the 84, the Bandai 84 Voltron as well.
Nice.
Found them all. 2 different targets. Found them all same day.
Boom.
Very excited. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right.
Nothing really as far as connecting. If you want to connect with me, Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live, and JD Brocious in the Facebook groups.
All right. Cool. All right, look at this motherfucker over here. The Energized Addict.
Who's that?
What's up, bro? You hiding from me? You hiding.
I slipped up in here like I slipped in your DM, B. Yo,
what's up, Pop? What's going on?
What's up, man? Having some computer issues over here, but I'm here.
No, you had to iron the drapes before you got on.
That's all right.
Oh, you know what's funny? You say that
today.
I actually tried to put something up there, because I was getting ragged on by Deluxe and Rob D. On the first episode, they were coming down on the drapes a lot, so I tried to do something, but it didn't work, man. I had a Game of Thrones poster I was trying to put up on the back of my fucking drapes, but you can still see the 2 corners of the drapes coming on the sides. It was retarded, but
I mean, it could be worse. You could be broadcasting in front of a shower curtain.
Man, if you watch some of the older episodes, man, I used to broadcast from my daughter's bedroom. It was nothing but pink and lavender things behind me. Remember, guys? Listen, as long as I'm here, man, that's all that counts.
You don't even have a daughter. Why do you have a pink bedroom?
Hey.
Oh shit! What about collect and connect? Anything new this week?
I actually have something good. So our mutual friend Todd, right? Todd 1, Todd L, whatever you want to call him. I call him Todd Reston because, without him, we wouldn't have known much about Reston. Yeah. So Todd, through one of these hangouts that we had, the after hangouts, we were talking about the Bandai model kits, the Star Wars. And I told him, man, I really don't have the time to do it. I don't have any patience. I have a DBZ one I had bought. It's still sitting in the box. So he hit me up a day or 2 later. He was like, dude, you sure you don't want them, man? They're really cool. They're easy to do. I was like, look, I want them, but I don't think I'll ever put it together. He says, I got you. I don't know what I got you meant. All I know is he hit me up the next day or later on that day and said, I ordered it. It's coming to my house, and I'll put it together for you. I said, all right, cool. He hits me up in 2 days, asks me for my address, shows me pictures of it, asks me how I want it, painted or whatnot. So I told him I wanted a little to be funky. I didn't want it to be too accurate. Todd goes, but that's not canon. And I'm like, dude, chill. Listen, I want you to put a little spice on it. So he bought it, he put it together, he mails this thing to me. It's the short trooper, right? So I get it. Shit's dope. It's really nice. I to the point that I actually brought it to work, and I've left it at work because I've been fucking with it all, the last few days. And I can tell you I've never got anything like that before. Somebody actually took the time out to, and I asked him, listen, can I pay for it? He wouldn't even let me pay for it. So dude just gifted it to me. So Todd, if you're listening, you're watching,
that's bad.
Thank you very much. It's very dear to me just because, you did that on your own. Nobody asked you to do it. You did it because you're just a cool ass dude, and I love it. It's a dope piece, and you did an awesome job on it. JD, you'd be proud.
Awesome. I want to see it. I'm
man,
excited.
really nice.
Him and I talk back and forth every now and again. We shoot pictures back and forth, like, yeah, I'm working on this. Oh, hey, I'm working on this. Yeah, dude, he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, he's got it together. He even told me, he even said that he's getting better with them, so he thinks mine came out better than his. So I was like,
oh shit,
damn, thank you. Thank you very much. So, Todd, if you're listening,
That's
again,
awesome.
you're the man, son.
Awesome.
Good shit.
Where can people connect with you online?
If you don't know by now, you haven't been watching very long. Energon Addict on Instagram, David Cologne on the Facebook groups, and just hit me up. You know, I talk to a lot of people, so you ever have a question about anything we talk about, or you just want to shoot the shit, hit me up.
Nice. I'll do that. I hit you up every day.
Mm-hmm.
As for myself, I can't call it my favorite pickup, but the collecting is gonna get slowed down a little bit. But I did get in a Perfect Effect Combiner Wars, Combiner Wars upgrade kit for the G2 Superion. I picked that piece up a couple of weeks ago from a member of the realm for pretty cheap, and you can't. Those figures aren't worth anything without those upgrade kits to make them better. So I found a retailer online that had a set of those for pretty cheap because everybody was asking ridiculous prices for the color, and it just arrived yesterday. And as far as connections, Dustapalooza this weekend had an incredible time. Started at Brian and Gary's suggestion. Started drinking about 3 minutes after arriving there, and didn't stop till we left. Thank God Dave had to drive. It was great. Getting to see Bobby, Tyler, Chris. Abraham was another new dude that came through. Got to meet him.
Yeah, that was cool.
Ralph
came through. Frank.
Clutch. So many others.
Frank, Andrew, Gort. Yeah.
Andrew. It was a good time. As it always is when we get together. So love those connections. I got a question for you guys though, because that G2 Superion set. I initially passed on that set. I wasn't going to pick up any of those G2 colored figures just because, the colors are a little funky to me. But I saw like a video of those and I decided to pick it up. And I was actually very happy with the purchase. So have you guys done anything like that? Like, initially pass on the figure and wind up picking it up and see that you actually enjoyed it?
Absolutely. That's several. Probably the biggest one that comes to mind for me, Transformers wise, was probably the Perfect Effect Leonidas. That was one that I passed on. I got secondhand. I had to sell it, and then when they announced, then it shot back up in price. And I was like, oh man, I really want another one of these. Then they came out with the Origin version. I hopped back on that one. It had some improvements. I was really, really happy to have that back in my collection.
Nice. Did you pick up? You had the original and you picked up the Origin, or was it the same version that you had before?
I had the original and then I picked up the Origin. The Origin has less diecast, but it works in favor of that figure because it's a heavy. I don't know. Have you ever handled one?
Yeah, I had the original one. I love that. Yeah, I only sold it because I felt like it didn't have a place in my collection, but I thought it was a badass piece.
So how heavy those legs are, it sometimes it's hard. Like if you've got him on the stand, like I like to have him like he's in like a leaping pose, and like on the original, the legs wouldn't always hold. You'd sneeze and that stand, he'd come off that stand. The original one, he's better balanced and better tolerance, except for the tail. The tail's loose as shit, but that's no biggie.
All right. Were you happy? You really happy picking them up that second time around? Did you feel like you were appreciating it more than you did the first time?
Yeah, no. The second time around I had them, I was like, "You're here to stay. You're absolutely here to stay."
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that I got that Gorilla, I kind of wish that I would have kept that piece. Yeah. I feel bad that I let it go, so I might actually jump on that too. I might actually give that a second chance.
Perfect Effect, pun intended, has that effect. I wasn't collecting the IDW stuff. I had Warden. I sold Warden when I found out he wasn't compatible with the Titans Return Fort Max.
What a
That's big regret right there.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing that they reissued that one. You could pick them up, for not too bad of a price if you.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them again. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else over there that I regret selling? I really don't sell that much stuff, so.
Yeah. Nice. Is there any other figures out there that you think like deserve like a second look? Like anything that you might have, be looking to get on the horizon?
It's funny. I picked up that Endocop set from NECA, and I used to buy like the McFarlane Movie Maniacs, and I had like their Terminator endoskeleton. There's a big time like I was like big into Terminator, and that's some stuff I lost in storage, but I'd really be happy to get some like good Terminator stuff back in my life.
Nice. And I was a big fan of that comic book too, RoboCop versus Terminator. I had the freaking video games.
The Genesis game was the tits, man.
Yeah, good times.
It's cool. I've been like 20
Anybody
years.
else?
So Jose, let me rephrase your question. So you're asking a line or a specific toy in question?
It could be anything you want, bro. Like I said, like I passed on that Superion. It doesn't have to be Transformers. Just anything that you might have maybe had before and got rid of, picked it up again, or anything that you want to get again.
Oh, want to get again? Okay. See, what came to mind for me with that question was everybody knows I've been talking about it for months. I'm like a SH Figuarts fucking monster. I've been buying them left and right. But I had originally, originally picked up a few like when they first released not The Last Jedi, I can't even think
Force
right now.
Awakens?
Fucking still pissed.
Force Awakens?
So they released those
Even
stormtroopers.
Star Wars, bro. Jesus.
Yeah, I know it's been a long day. So I basically had bought a few, and I was like, all right, they're pretty cool. I wasn't really collecting 112 Star Wars at the time, and I just said, you know what, maybe I won't jump into this right away. And I gave it a second chance. I started getting the Black Series, which I used to shit on as well. I used to shit on Hasbro and the Black Series shit. I used to walk by Toys R Us with my nose in the air saying, I only collect third-party, Masterpiece. I'm not buying that crap. And what I do, I want to spend in double on some of the shit that I bought. Rebuying. Dom knows half the shit I got from him. And
see that time when you were looking at the Black Series, were you not collecting figure arts at that time? Like never like jumped on them?
I wasn't collecting. Yeah, I really wasn't collecting anything like Star Wars 112 scale stuff. I was just like doing the Transformer thing mainly, and one-off items here and there to see if I liked anything, and then finally. I got a little bored with Transformers. I decided to give both Black Series and Figuarts another try, and I just been going crazy on both since. So,
which line did you start with first?
I think I started with the Black Series first, and then I started getting back into the Figuarts, and then I started catching up on the Figuart stuff, realizing that the Black Series is okay for for troopers, army building shit, but I wanted better representation of a character, and I felt that Figuarts did a better job at that, with their sculpts and shit. So
yeah,
I got really heavy into it, and I'm happy I did. I mean, I play with these more than I do my Transformers these days.
So, Dave, I have a question for you. And Brian kind of has shared this with us a lot as he's been setting up his collection about how he was buying with the vision and things being matched together. Did you start to see like what I know you shared your room is like under construction right now, but ultimately you're gonna have a nice space to display everything. So was it your vision, that was kind of motivating you, do you think, back into the figure arts and the volume of troopers and stuff that you bought?
Yeah, it was the vision. It doesn't help seeing other people's collections too, our friend with the mask, we got to go to his house again this October, and I was just like, I was in awe. I was just like, man, this is what I want to do with my Star Wars stuff, and I have a ton of like 3-inch figures upstairs. I probably will never take them out. I love them for the time, when I was buying them, but right now I can only see the, some Hot Toy stuff in the corner, but for the most part, for stuff for like display and action poses and stuff, I want to have a mix of Figuarts and Black Series.
Yeah, nice. I hear you on that, because it definitely once you start getting into like Black Series and the figure arts, you see the quality of those figures. Like you're not going to be happy with the 3 3/4 inch, detail. Right. Are you planning on still keeping those, like just for nostalgia, or are you going to wind up getting rid of them eventually?
They're still. I maybe opened maybe about a dozen of them. I probably have another maybe 40 of them boxed and in their cases. Like I was going crazy with the cases and everything back then.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll put them up for sale if somebody wants them. You know what I mean? Because if anything, I might just leave them like that. You know, maybe they hold their value that way.
Yeah. I know, dude. Like with the Star Wars figure arts, like a lot of that stuff. I was collecting the figure arts heavy at the time, but just not that line. But I remember a lot of those figures being Tamashii web exclusives, you know. So a lot of them hard to find after the fact, and if you'd find them, you know, they were going to be pretty pricey. So how was your experience when searching for those things on the aftermarket? Were you getting raped in the beginning initially, or getting decent prices? Like, how was it for you?
Dom's laughing when you said raped, right? What are you getting some ideas, huh? No, but
visual.
I'm a very stern buyer. Like, I'm not the type of dude that'll just pay anything for it, especially in the realm we're in. You know what I mean? Like, I know that dudes, you know, they want a certain price, especially for like those Tamashii web exclusive stuff. And I'll try to talk somebody down if I'm buying more than one item. So if he had just one specific thing, like let's say the Luke, right, that was going for like 100 and over at one point. I kept looking for him. I wasn't gonna pay $120 for him that everybody was charging, and I found a dude who sold him with the Vader with the stand, you know, with the Death Star background stand, and I came off. So if I do the math, I paid around like 80 for Luke, which to me isn't bad. You know, considering
he was retailing for over 100 in some places that I saw, so you made out okay there.
Yeah, and with some of the other higher ones like the Padme and the Anakin that are going for dough too, I got lucky with Mr. Gary Allen over here. He had them. He wasn't going to collect them anymore, and we kind of did like a trade off.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. All the other ones, I basically, you know, either bought in bundle deals or, you know, talk people down. I'm like, hey, I got this. You want this? Hit me up. If not, see you later. So.
Nice. Were there any other lines like you might have considered like giving a second look? Any other like toys or you know, brands that you picked up that you were like, but you might give a second look to in the future?
Well, I think I told this story once before. So I once had the Han and Chewie Hot Toys, and I bought this when it dropped, and I thought I was going to get into it like hardcore. Within maybe a month and a half, I sold it to my younger cousin, who said he'd pay for it. He gave me basically what I paid for it, so I didn't lose anything. I maybe lost on some shipping. That's about it. Okay. And the funny part is I have them again in my house, but he's just lending them to me so I can fuck with them again. But ultimately, I'm going to have to rebuy them if I want, you know, a rendition of each character. And those are two characters that I'm probably going to want. So, you know, I already offered to pay, you know, to buy them back, but he's like, nah, man, I love them. I'm going to keep them. So that's something I'm regretting, but, you know, definitely going to go back to, or have already. So
nice.
Hot Toys.
I feel like if I were to get into Hot Toys, like I'd be just like drowning in a back catalog of stuff to get. And I feel like that already with Figuarts, because I've gone into the Marvel stuff. Fortunately, like I'm able to look and say, okay, well, you know, like I don't really like the Civil War cap, and we've got the Infinity War stuff coming out, so I'm hoping that, you know, I'll be able to get characters I want there. Yeah. But I am looking at that Tamashii homemade suit Spider-Man and Iron Man with the was it the drone suit?
Yeah, with the Mark 47. Yeah, I got that.
That was really cool.
Yeah, they got to see that out over the weekend.
Saturday. Yeah.
I want that. Do I $170 want that?
Yeah. Well, you never know. I might. You know, I've been collecting fig arts and stuff like that.
All right.
And but you know, you never know, man. I might be able to hook you up.
Keep me in mind. Keep me in mind.
No doubt.
Jose, you got a stash of some select items over there, bro.
Like, I do, man.
You guys on the panel with their fucking claws out, ready to fucking pounce on you, bro.
I'll take it. It just he just needs the right motivation, right? So
yeah, I've been doing that lately because it's like you got like Chris and he's got that Unrustable Bastards figure, and I'm like, if you don't want it, I do.
Yeah.
Then,
Especially since it's the Kickstarter version, right? You're not going to be able to get that at retail. Yeah.
It kind of ties back into like the community piece that we always and like the connecting part is like none of us are like little 10-year-old kids taking these out into the dirt, or I forget who's telling the story. Brian, was that you used to freeze your GI Joes in ice?
Yeah,
right? And play with them.
Like, I did that too.
I don't have
talking about
I
that.
don't have to. Yeah, it's like you don't have to worry about that, right? If you end up getting a figure from someone else's collection, for the most part, especially in the ROC, it's for the most part, I think you can be safe, I guess, in those purchases.
For the most part,
I played with my Hot Toys in the mud. What are you talking about?
I'll just say, like, if we can't go one episode of Breaking the Mold without talking about it, but obviously, I passed on that first Voltron.
What?
Well, and I know, look, I appreciate. I've had like Brian, you sent me some of those photos, and I had like 3 or 4 other people in the Facebook groups kind of let me know about the the Icarus one, and obviously we've all been talking about the one that's at retail at Target and stuff. So to me, that alone is just kind of cool.
Voltron.
That that people kind of helps support that. For like a second chance with that, I was just going to share. So back in the spring, when I discovered those kind of Storm collectibles for the Street Fighter series, I had like zero attachment to that Street Fighter 5 or, I played like the Street Fighter 2, I think, when I was in college and stuff. So it was pretty dated. But they looked really neat. And I ended up picking up one of the special repaints of the Ryu figure. Like he was like purple and green. It was like some Asian convention exclusive. And it was kind of before the line really took off with the Mortal Kombat ninjas and the Street Fighter stuff. And it was great. I liked it, but I just like, I don't really want to start this collection. And I sold it. And I kind of regret a little bit because I liked that particular color combo. But then as I kind of looked at some of the newer characters that came out, so I've got 2 of them now that I kind of gave the whole line another chance. And again, no emotional connection here, no nostalgia, but just fun toys that like I feel like I can manipulate, I can pose, I can look at. They're just really entertaining, and just a lot of fun. And I'm not worried about the value. I'm not worried about breaking something on it. I'm not worried about I don't know. It just kind of brings back the fun. So I picked up the Akuma and the Zangief, and in typical Gary fashion, I saw today in the post that there's a special color edition Zangief coming out. So I may pick that one up too, just for the eccentric colors, right, Dave? Like,
I think there's something to be said for that, because you're enjoying your collection on a different level. Like you don't have like you said, the nostalgic attachment to those characters, but you find yourself enjoying the toys all the same. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. So like I talked about the Figma Deadpool, and I've got Hot Toys, and I love how they look, and they make me I love looking at them. But I don't. I guess maybe a different topic for another day. I'm curious what maybe the people in the chat think, but sometimes the nostalgia kind of wears off, and I feel like as I've got to see all the different G1 masterpiece and third party stuff and the reissues of He-Man and stuff over the years, I'm just kind of excited to see some new stuff maybe, so I think that's kind of opened my eyes to give something a second chance once in a while.
Nice. Anybody else? Bring JD.
I was gonna say for me, it's not so much that I'd get rid of something and then pick it up again, but there are things that I passed on initially that I then went back to pick up, like KFC Transistor. Like I wasn't giving KFC that they were out, man. No more chances. And,
What was the deciding factor that made you change your mind?
Just that the reviews were all positive. Or I shouldn't say the reviews, but the people I talked to said, had nothing but positive things to say. And also I decided to put a 86 movie collection together, which I can't seem to display as prominently as I had hoped. And now I'm like, I'm kind of happy with them down there, down in the dark. Maybe I don't care about these. I don't know. We'll see. But so there's that. And funny enough, the other one is also a KFC product. Now this is going to be kind of weird, but I do like to collect primes, and I do venture outside of the red and blue prime from time to time. And yeah, sometimes. And so we all remember KFC Citizen Stack, right?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So I ended up buying that because at the time I'm giving all these people a chance. Things are good. It's tall, it's big. Ultra Magnus transforms into a truck. Just shit's fucking awesome. And also, too, remember there was a mix-up on the price on Masterpiece Ultra Magnus, which was also coming out very similar time. He was like, they had him for some like horrible price, like $285 or something like that. Remember that? And the KFC one was like cheaper, and I was like, well, you know what? This is an obvious choice. Yeah. So Citizen Stack shows up. It was not an obvious choice. It was terrible. But I mean, not absolutely terrible, but some tolerance, and I won't go into that now. But they did issue a recolor of it, the Powered Commander version, the Diaclone version, and in lore, that's an Optimus Prime figure, and I was like, you know what? I won't get the MP mold again. I'll go ahead and go back and get that. And the second time around, dude, Keith was on point. He fixed the tolerances stuff and things like that, and I was pretty happy to have him back in my collection and mess around with him a bit. And I'll be honest, I haven't seen him in like 3 years. He's around here somewhere.
Somewhere there.
So he must be buried deep in the back. So I'm looking forward to the day when I open up the box that has him, pull him out, and mess with him some more. Believe it or not. So
that's interesting. So you definitely noticeable differences in that second recolored version than the original.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you like the colors on that? Like, do you like getting the Diaclone colors? Like, I feel like since I've never haven't seen fiction with those characters and those colors, like I can't wrap my head around it.
Well, the thing with me, I mean, these Transformers, I do love them for the fiction that we do have, but my main affinity are cars that transform into robots. Okay. And this guy's a truck that transforms into a robot. And I have a few Diaclone recolors here, such as I have, how bad the Trax mold is, and I have it 3 times, right?
Me too.
With all the different colors. The Dotson Brothers, which is not a bad figure in comparison to Trax. I got all the recolors of that one except for the pure silver one, but that blue one with the silver hood, dude, he's freaking awesome looking. And
I missed out on that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And trying to think, I got the MMC yellow Trailbreaker. I thought that was really cool. That figure's got issues, but it really looks nice. Things like so. Yeah, I'm more into the cars that transform into robots thing. So
nice.
I will get those recolors from time to time. And yeah.
Are there any other figures out there that you've seen that you've passed on and are looking forward to maybe picking up in the future?
Beast Guerrera, that Perfect Effect one. I'm not a super huge Beast Wars fan, but I really loved Optimal Optimus when he came into the fiction there, and that figure's phenomenal.
Speaking of fixing
things, is that the red and blue one?
No, this is the regular colored one.
Okay,
so
you want the original?
You'll probably win out when they reissue it because the red recolor, it actually has a ratcheted waist.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Perfect Effect is known. And Perfect Effect is known for making a few tweaks. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if when that Dragon Megatron comes out, they reissue it again with like some tweaks.
Yeah,
and then I'll buy it again.
You should just wait for that second run then, just try to be patient.
This hobby, be patient? What?
Yeah. I want to know. Anybody else? Dom or JD, you want to chime in?
I passed up on the that Mega Optimus, the one that doesn't transform, but it's huge. Brian bought it at first, and I saw it from him and, really wanted something at that size that not so tune accurate, but like, a rendition to the point where it's not that far away from the basic concept. So I just, when looking at it and I saw it and checking out other people who had it, I was like, I definitely want to pick this one up. And,
yeah.
And then when that second release, because I know after that first release came out, the prices of that one were up ridiculous. People were asking for ridiculous amounts of money for it. And then eventually they did the second release. I jumped on it, and I'm happy that I did, because the Megatron now is coming out, and I just think those two pieces together will definitely be a cornerstone of anybody's collection.
Which is this there?
The big Mega one, the big Mega
yeah.
Optimus that you have, Brian. Yeah. So I feel like anybody walking into your collection room and you have those two pieces showing, it's definitely going to catch somebody's eye on what it is, and because it has a presence in anybody's collection. So that's mine.
That's it.
Yeah. So Retro Now in the chat, he's saying that he missed out on the Toy World Constructor. And kicking himself in the balls on a daily basis for that miss. I know a lot of people missed out on that figure.
Actually, I guess that would be the best one for my story, because I did sell it and get that one.
Yeah.
But you knew that you were going to do that, Brian, because you knew that you wanted the box set. And
dude, I was making so much money that day at the convention. I was just like, sure, sell it all, whatever.
Everything must go.
Give me money. For me, I'm kind of, I don't know. I don't sell a whole lot of stuff, but at the same time, man, that's really tough. I guess Black Series, kind of like Dave said about how you passed it up, and now that I realized that I do love Star Wars more than I thought I did, I'm going back and trying to play catch up with older figures, and for me it's more the Black Series. I'm really trying not to delve into the Figure Arts game, but I mean, I might as well. I'm already halfway there with other lines.
So like, one footnote on that, too. It's like it's funny, like, we miss out on stuff, but it seems like there's always a better version of stuff that comes out. Like, you missed out on the Black Series, you get like the Hot Toys option, you get the Figure Arts option. For me, they were doing the Power Rangers Legacy stuff, and I always wanted to have like a classic Megazord.
Mm-hmm.
I kept missing the Legacy. Like, it was like when they were coming out with it, I just couldn't fit it into my budget for collecting. Ended up getting the Soul Chigokin one. Now they're coming out with the Soul Chigokin Dragon Zord, and I think that if I just had that Legacy Megazord, I'd still end up buying the Soul Chigokin stuff anyway, And it's really funny that, even though we might miss out on something, it doesn't mean it's the end. Like, Gary's pressed for Voltron, but other people are making Voltrons, and there may come a time when someone makes a product that makes the Soul Chigokin one look like crap. They could have one that's all 5 combining lions, ab crunch. They could figure out a way to engineer a butterfly joint in there. You never know.
Yeah, but then we got to be patient, and that's no fun.
Yeah, it's true.
It's no fun. It's that double-edged sword that breaks us as collectors.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun for us.
I agree, though. There's always, eventually something better is going to come out. I fully believe that they're going to re-release all these masterpieces with better molds, and
absolutely.
Maybe not every character, but the ones that they know are going to make money.
Well, case in point.
Sure.
Look at how many people still have that Year of the Horse Prime in their collection as their Prime, because for the longest time you couldn't get MP10 at a good price, and then he's been reissued 3 times now. In like the U.S. market. Well, I guess in the U.S. market he's been issued twice, but in the Asian market he's been reissued like 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
He might still be in stock in EBTS.
Oh, he still is in stock with the Vector Sigma stuff.
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I like the idea sometimes. Like, as much as I'll bitch and moan about this Voltron, and it comes up all the time now, it like gives me a quest almost. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like there's this ongoing challenge. So I like that. And you're right, Jordan. It's like I can kind of debate. Look, if I really, really wanted that thing, I'd find a way, right? I'd sell other stuff. I'd suck it up and I'd buy it. But it's that value. To the price ratio, right? How much enjoyment is it going to be? Is it $400 value? Maybe. Is it $800? Fuck no, right? Absolutely not.
Exactly.
But I do, I like the quest, I guess, for me, and kind of having that out there. And
is this like a quest to Mordor Gary type of question? Or?
Listen, we're a team. Roll your dice. Roll your dice.
Who's Sam in this whole conversation?
You're Sam.
I knew it. But you guys just brought up a good topic, though. I mean, between what you guys were all saying about waiting and new renditions coming out, like, what kind of advice would you give, other collectors who are just starting out in the line that they might, want to jump all in because they're backlogged? You know what I'm saying? Figures came out the last 2 years and now they're trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
Would you suggest, going all in and buying them, or just wait until the next thing comes out?
So my suggestion off the bat is get the characters that matter to you first, because that's going to determine whether or not you want to go all in. Like for me, my first was, I had to get Masterpiece Optimus, and after that, I knew I was all in. If you're like, oh man, I really want Figuarts, Ant-Man's going to be my first one. You might not get those feels unless you're a big Ant-Man fan. Shout out to Ant-Man fans. But
hey, Paul Rudd.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think in the long run you want to be in that position right now. I think right now, if you're a new collector coming in, and MP is a thing for you, I think it's a great time to come in, because there's so many things set in stone that, like, which figure is a good figure to get. You might be paying extra because of the supply, like the figure not being available that easily, but just you probably passed up on all the other buys that you wouldn't typically do to get to that point. So I think it's a good time to be in that situation, because you can just get your cherry pick the best figures that are currently out there, and really work on an approach that best works for yourself. Because, as you all know, if you were in this at the beginning, developing that approach was time consuming to say, where do I go from here? How do I change my approach? And how many approaches change over the time, and how you figure out what are you going to collect based on the money that you have in your pocket. So it's a challenge, but like, I feel if there's somebody getting into the collection now, it's a good place to be, because you got a lot of information out there that can help you narrow down what your approach is and what figures you're going to go after.
So I like what you said, Dom. Like, and I kind of like what Jordan said. So, like, I think you focus on what you like as an individual. I can't tell you how many times I feel like I've heard someone say, well, I got figure A, so I have to get figure B, and then I have to get figure C, and they're not really excited about B and C, and they feel this need to put them all together, right, to make that. And that's fine. Look, some people collect that way. That's not my perspective, but I think whatever you enjoy the most, and we just joked about it, but if you like Ant-Man the most, then try that character, from that series. I think the other thing to keep in mind is, for every time someone's starting a new collection, someone else out there is transitioning into a different interest. So don't, feel like you have to rush through everything, but sooner or later, it's like anything else, right? It's like classic cars. I don't know. It's sooner or later someone has something and they're done with it and they're willing to give it up, and you may be able to fill those voids that way also.
I was going to say something along the same lines as, be patient and do your research.
Yeah.
You'll run into the right deal.
Don't forget to have fun. I don't know. I think so many people I hear seem like they don't enjoy. And look, we're guilty of it on this show. On Mondays, ETR, we hear people talk.
This is not fun, Gary.
Yeah, it turns into work, right? It sounds like work sometimes. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are you doing it for then? Just stop, because you don't seem to be happy with it, right? So
Gary, it is work, man. Like, when you're looking for a figure, right? Like, sometimes, at least with me, I do a lot of shopping on the Facebook groups. And I'll look in like the 3-4 groups that I'm purchasing things in, and I'll go in and look for a specific item I'm looking for, and then put the phone down. If I don't do that every day, right, what happens is the next morning I get up and at 11:54 somebody posted the item I was looking for a fucking cheap price, and then I'm beating myself in the head because I'm like, fuck, if I was online I would have fucking bought it, right? But it's tough, man. It's tough. But again, that's part of the game. That's part of the hunt. It's all trial and error. We've all made our mistakes. my thought of it is, I just got into Hot Toys again, right? So I think I've been speaking to Dom and Gary about it on and off, and I think me and Dom were talking the other day. Oh, well, we have to catch up now. We have to get this one, and we have to get that one. And I'm like, all right, the first one I need to get is Boba Fett, right? If I would have bought that shit a week ago, I would have been fucking myself.
Boba Fett. Where?
Right. I would have been kicking myself in the ass because what did they do? They just re-released a new version of it, right? Right. So sometimes it does pay off to wait, especially on the higher end stuff. I mean, if you're filling in gaps in on a Black Series line or something, and you're spending 10, 15, 20 bucks on a figure, I say go ahead, do it. You're not going to kill yourself. But if you're going to try to get that one figure that might re-release, I'm not going to talk about Voltron again, but let's talk about how about for a while Spartan, right? MMC Spartan was going for dough, right?
Good example.
Hey Dave, FYI, there's a Voltron drinking game going on in the chat.
How many times they say it?
That True Starscreamer started. Yes, every time you hear it.
Shout out to True Starscreamer. He got a good line in there. He said, "When a hobby stops being fun, it isn't a hobby anymore."
Yeah,
and it's true. I completely agree with that.
Yep.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, all you guys have made excellent points. I think the emphasis that I would put out there is definitely to be informed, and to be somewhat patient, even though we're guilty of not being those things ourselves. Because the thing is, and I think anybody on this panel could relate, is that you get the fever sometimes when you start collecting something new, or you get a new figure, and then you're like, I want to get all of them right now. And you know what happens if it's crap when you get all that shit in, and then you spent a bunch of money, so extra pointed out, maybe get your most favorite character, check out the line first, and then see if you're open and getting more, if you enjoyed them, but also be patient and be informed. Like, check the groups, because like Gary said, you're coming into it and somebody could be getting out of it, and you could get figures for excellent prices, because these stores, sometimes the aftermarket eBay and even e-tailers online have ridiculous prices for things that if you just search around a little bit, you'll get a very good deal.
Not only that, but making friends in the community, sometimes you'll get those friend price deals.
Yep, exactly. And it's good that you have the community as a resource as well. Unfortunately for the people that don't know about us yet, hopefully they have their friends or whatever and can stay informed that way. But anybody that's part of the realm, you could always throw out a question to your fellow collectors about anything collecting related, and there's always somebody that's more than happy to help you, so definitely use that resource. It's valuable.
And another thing to Jose too is that prepare yourself too when getting into collecting this type of stuff. You're going to buy a figure that might be hot, it might be hyped, and you get it, and all of a sudden another manufacturer, another toy company makes a better figure. You're gonna have those types of purchases. So just prepare yourself for those types of things, because you should go into it that when you buy something, there might be a better one coming out the next day, or a couple months from then, or the following year.
The Megatron Wars.
Yeah. So just understand that, so it doesn't leave too much of a sour taste in your mouth when you make that purchase. Enjoy what you purchased at that time. There's a reason why you purchased it. There's a fun factor in there when you get it and you're opening and you're playing with that specific toy. So when the next one does come up there, you just don't say, oh, fuck, now, this one's going to drop in price like 70%. I'm not going to be able to sell it for anything. But at the end of the day, at least you enjoyed it. You had your fun with it, and you can move to the next item and treat it as that. Because once you get into that game and it's leaving that sour taste in your mouth, it just doesn't become any fun anymore.
You have to appreciate the value of ownership. I think you're right, Dom.
Yep. Because I think people get too much caught up in that game, and then just doesn't become the original intent of what you were doing to collect that toy, these toys, doesn't have that original factor anymore. You're just becoming pissed off of what you're buying, and because somebody came out with something better.
Nobody is retiring on any of this shit.
Yep.
Right. Dave is not sending his daughter to college at the Ivy League school based on
Gary,
this stuff. It's just
hey Gary, I'm thinking about adopting the kids just so I can send them to college on selling my SOC Voltron.
Somebody take a shot.
It'll be the G Money Scholarship for excellence.
And to those that want to play the rock drinking game, we still have Rumble Collector shot glasses available.
Oh, nice
That's
plug
right.
there. Voltron, and Voltron. Drink up. So
We got to get Voltron shot glasses for this year.
That's four.
You guys just brought up a good point too, right? It's something that's been on my mind. I'm not sure if you guys think about it, but a lot of talk's been like, we're almost done with G1, right? We're almost done with the 86
I can't
crew,
disagree more.
right? And I'm like, no way, you're not done. I mean, you might be done if that's your goal. And if your goal was to just collect the 86 crew and call it a day, bro, there's a million people taking a picture of all of them on the thing. You could take a look and, keep it in your head.
Yeah.
If it's for your own collection, you want stuff that you're going to appreciate, like that Ace Toys Cliff Jumper that came out and people are filling it. Yeah, exactly. So for me, I didn't buy it because to me, it's a POS. I don't want it. So I'm gonna wait for the right one, and I'm not gonna jump on the first one that comes out just to say I'm finished, because I'm not finished. Because 4 years from now, they're gonna redo everything.
Because when they come
Ace
out with
Toys
the
Sea Spray,
yeah,
that Sea Spray looks good though.
but when they come out with a reflector that's got like butterfly joints and doesn't parts form, and Insecticons that have crazy posability, and they get like the chest gimmick on Bombshell where he's purple in bug mode and gray in robot mode, and when they give these figures the treatment they deserve, because there's a lot. I'm looking over here and like I've got a lot of great third party figures. But then I think it like what they've gone and done with Sunstreaker, and it's like fuck, I'm gonna rebuy some of these.
Yeah,
when it comes down to it.
You and me both.
See, I think that shows kind of because I could get the I'm done argument because from when Masterpieces started releasing and I guess you kind of started getting an idea of where your collection you want it to go. And, and maybe it's just arc bots or movie bots or just, seasons 1 through 4 and then be done with it. But, we're not going to get every single character and you hope third party fills in those gaps.
Right.
But the thing is like I think I've had my lulls in collecting. Like I've been in and out of the hobby, but it's the love is always like still there. And there's always going to be something that draws me back. So I can't ever see myself as done. It's like, like maybe this particular line of Masterpiece is done. Yeah. But it's like I said earlier, like I just always envision them putting something better out. And to me, like I feel like if you're in this hobby and you love that shit so much, you're going to be hard pressed to say no to a brand new Optimus Prime, MP fucking 66 or whatever. That's like banging. You know what I'm saying? Like you thought it couldn't get any better and they fucking blow your mind. You're going to say no.
You heard it here first, guys. You heard it here. MP 66.
Jose, what I could see happening is, right, a lot of people that are saying they're done with, G1, they're done with the 86 Masterpiece line, right? They're going to just pick and choose after that. They may not get a new rendition of every character that Takara decides to re-release, but they might say, you know what, this one does look like kind of shitty. I might get rid of that one and replace it with this one. And that's where I think I'm going to be headed. No, I may not replace them all. And maybe after a while, I don't want to buy Transformers no more. Who knows? When I'm 63 and they're finally all out, I'll probably be done with it by then because I'll be fucking getting ready to collect Social Security. But like,
here's the thing, though, Dave. There's a part that goes with that too, which is like, let's face it. I don't think people are collecting. They hit their goal. Are they just going to retract from the community and give up on the friendships that they've made? No, you're still going to interact with people, right? So Tyler's a great example, right? I don't know him super well other than kind of meeting at TFCon and stuff, but he came to Dust, right? He sold his whole Transformers collection, right? If I'm not mistaken, or put it up for sale in the trades. Yep. Does that mean he's not going to come hang out with people because he's not into Transformers anymore? No, he was there having a good time. He even said he's got a house full of other shit. I think, if you gave up on all your Star Wars stuff, you'd still be interacting with people in the groups and on the panel and your friendships. And sooner or later, someone else is going to get you excited, like you said, about something different again. Yeah. So, I think it changes, it evolves, your tastes change, but I don't know if you really are a collector, in spirit, if it's ever going to go completely away.
Everything has a resurgence. It's like I gave up on Marvel for a long time, and now I'm, with the movies, I'm getting my interest back, and I'm like, you know what, I'd really like to have a nice display of the '90s X-Men because that was like what I was into.
Yeah.
But I hadn't collected anything Marvel in well over 20 years.
Yeah, I always take my Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I always take my collecting as like it's not a destination, it's a journey. So
yes,
I'm always changing. It's always growing. Like it's involving my collection. So it's like I remember when I started early. Like there was times where I was a collector just on condition, just to see the condition of certain things and getting the best condition of an item. So like upgrading condition of a particular figure was always an upgrade for me. Changing my collection just to make it better. So it's like things like that is always. I always had a mindset that when I went into collecting, it's just going to be always a constant evolution of what my collection is going to be. And as time goes on, figures and characters are going to get better. Somebody's going to make it better, and I'll be there to pick it up. And then maybe let go of a figure that I picked up 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and just said, I had my fun with this one. It's let somebody else have that fun, and not expect making the best amount of money, but at least making something that I can just put back into the collection.
That's what she said.
That's interesting. Yeah, and that's interesting because you just you spoke about like an evolution. So when you were first collecting, were you just being like a mint box collector, didn't open anything?
Yeah, it was mint box collecting, and I was more of a I want to get the best condition and
the best condition box you could
AFA.
find. Yeah.
AFA was out there, and I was always looking to upgrade my collection and evolving that collection and just basically watching it change to get it, what I'm looking for. And that's I feel like it still holds true today. So like whether it's third party or official, whatever figure I feel is best, I'll buy it. And then, when 3 years down the ride and another figure comes out better, I'll buy that one.
So
that's interesting.
Do you guys ever find anything like influences your collecting habits, like outside of the toys themselves? We had Eddie Che in the chat. He says after Last Jedi, he's given up on the Disney Star Wars collecting, and he's only focusing on the prequel and original trilogy. So if you guys ever had anything like that, where like an outside influence just kind of changes your habits?
I think stuff like that helps you kind of build lines in the sand and where you're going to stop in your collecting. That's a perfect constraint that you can put on yourself and say, you know what, I'm only going to do the original trilogy and prequels and not this new stuff because I only can
doesn't resonate with you.
It doesn't resonate with me. I'd rather spend my money on these two series rather than the newer series that's out.
Huh. That reminds me. I have a shitload of movie primes that I do not have a place to display in my vision.
I mean, your taste can change too. Like, you just said, somebody wants to collect like a specific, the guy wants to collect the OG Star Wars stuff. He's the original trilogy shit, right? Like, I thought I wanted to do the same, but then when you start getting back into the lore of things and you start doing, you start reading the backstories, you start watching the Clone Wars, then you're like, you know what? I want that stuff too. It's hard, you know what I mean? And when you start in this collecting group specifically, we have a lot of collectors that have really nice collections, right? But JD, for example, right? I talk to JD constantly about his Star Wars stuff. He shows me his videos when we're doing these unbroadcasted hangouts and stuff, and I'm like, damn, that shit looks so good, man. I need that. But you know what? I didn't buy any of those. So in order for me to have something that looks like that, I need to buy those.
Yep. And Dave, to carry on with what you're saying there, it's almost like you're collecting these things to sometimes complete a line, but like you mentioned with Clone Wars, like you mentioned with JD's display, like sometimes you're just like, I want to build a nice display, and I'm going to need certain characters to be in it, such and such thing. And as you said, going to our masked friend's house, I mean, he's got a ton of stuff, and now he's displaying it as well, and it just makes you kind of love it even more, as opposed to just having a representation of the character, but building a display to showcase the characters as they can contribute to each other. As
right. And I think that's like another area too, where if you're buying a figure you don't necessarily want as a figure or to enjoy as a figure, and it's part of a set piece, that's a whole different type of enjoyment. And I think therein it's a difference. So it's like if you just had like on your shelf you had like 43 stormtroopers chilling out, but if you had like a backdrop of like the Death Star and like the Imperial shuttle behind it, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
Or if you had a shelf full of 501st troopers, you're like, but then you get Revenge of the Sith Anakin, and you're like, there it is, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, case in point, this Asher's Mode Syndicus I got today. It's like I got no interest in this. I'm not even collecting the DJD, but I have a collection of black Transformers, like black deco with like highlighted like things, and dude, it's gonna fit in perfect,
And when you're bored of it, there's a guy. His his name rhymes with Textra Hero, and he'll gladly take it off your hands.
You're gonna want that whole display, I would imagine, if you want to take this one.
Well, hey, I mean, I did get Autobot Tarn.
There you go.
For me, I find the outside factors, they tend to more pull me into a line than draw me out. Probably like an example would be, I think, like the Transformers Prime stuff. Like a lot of that Chug stuff, while it was still good at the time, like I wasn't really collecting it, and I kind of saw that series a little bit after the fact and really, really enjoyed it, which prompted me to then pick up the figures like afterwards. And it's the same with anything. It could be action figures. It's usually with music, same thing. I hear a song in a movie or in a TV show, and you got the Shazam app. If you don't know the name, Shazam it. There you go, and then download it. Boom, instantly in your hands. I can't remember ever getting pulled out of something though, because of something that I watched. Probably best example would be like you kind of said earlier, extra, like the Marvel stuff. For a long time, their comic books were not grabbing me. They had their heyday of the cartoons like in the 90s, and then some stuff they put out is okay, but just the comics as a whole lost interest. In their brand, I was more DC guy and independent. And basically that stopped me from getting action figures of theirs and stuff like that. Besides cherry picking here and there, because I just wasn't enjoying what they were releasing, So, but I think we all could relate to that. It's just like watching the Transformers cartoon as kids and being like, "Oh, we need those toys, mommy! I want them!"
It's just because the characters, it's the characters resonating with you. I think is one thing I think amongst our group is something that really is universal, and it's whether they do or they don't. Sometimes though, it's just I think it's a design thing. I don't have any affinity for the movies, but that Lockdown figure,
I mean, sometimes I think we all fall into the hype too. We hear everybody say, "Oh,
exactly.
That fucking toy's hot! Oh my god, look how look what it does. The transformation's awesome. The paint is great on it, and you might find yourself $140 in the hole for something that you didn't want originally until somebody else said that it was dope. And I used to be that guy. I mean, I used to pick up something just because. These days, I do buy a lot of stuff, but it's stuff that I generally want to buy now. It's stuff that I enjoy, I open, I play with. I may not have it displayed, but everything I buy, I take out the box and I play with at least once.
Yeah. So. And I know in the beginning when we talked about people, the whole part of this segment is, new people getting into it. Obviously good things, you have choices. But dude, I can't imagine if some of you are like me, you're like drinking from the fire hose right now.
Yeah, but also ask questions, man. Like, this is why we do this show. You know what I mean? Like, ask us questions. You know what I'm saying? Fucking drop it in the chat or drop it after the chat. Jump in after Hangout if you have any questions on anybody's specific collections or buying habits. You know, I've helped out a lot of people on buys. You know, I'll hunt for you if I like to do it. So if I have the time and I'm not hunting for myself, I'll hunt for you. Let me know what you're looking for, man. You know.
So, if you're a new collector and you want to get into it, call Dave. Ask what he has, and then whatever he has, don't buy because it's pretty much trash.
What I'll do is redirect them to Dom because Dom has a small toy store in his fucking house. So.
Mitten case.
Just keep messaging Dom till he actually answers. Just keep messaging.
No.
Oh, JD, you know about that.
One right after the other.
And, you know,
right after the other.
One thing I want to add is, you know, to piggyback off of reaching out to us, the reason we give our names in the Facebook groups is so you guys can use us as a resource. I mean, the show's all about community, and you are part of the community. It doesn't have to just be in this chat. Anybody's welcome to message me. I think the same probably goes to the rest of the panel.
Yep.
So, you know, again, you know, if you're looking to get into something, feel free to reach out. You know, when I was looking to get into Figuarts, I hit a lot of people up. You know, and it was nice getting some advice on where to start and some advice about what it's going to be like falling down that rabbit hole. So I think we can all provide good advice.
Yeah.
Yep. Like I said, the group is a valuable resource, and like I said, no shortage of people that are willing to help others out. You know, that's what it's all about. It's just helping out your fellow collector. You know, so as Dave said, he goes hunting. You know, Dom is always kind of on the lookout, and in all our chats and stuff like that. And you guys could do that with each other as well. Just link up and connect. And you know, I'm always getting, you know, seeing a photo like, does anybody need this? Anybody need that? You know. You know what I'm saying? When you got people looking out for you like that, you know.
And with that too, let people in the community know what you're looking for, because that's
Absolutely.
sometimes like, you know, it's like I hear somebody wanting something, I'm like, oh, you should have told me I had that like last week, but I sold it, and just, you know, so make sure your community knows what you want or what you're looking for, because sometimes people might have it and probably have it at a better price than what you're paying for. So
yeah, learn to shop. Learn to shop. Don't just jump on eBay, or don't jump on Big Bad Toy Store right away. You know, ask around, because again, we're part of this group, but we're all part of other Facebook groups that we shop at and stuff, and we could always direct you somewhere else, you know, for a cheaper price or a better bargain. So
yep.
Don't be shy.
Well, like I said, it almost happened to me. You know, I was looking for that Combiner Wars upgrade set, you know, and already at this point, it's over a year old, sold out everywhere. You know, eBay trying to get these crazy prices, and I almost jumped. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, man, I'm not going to find this anywhere. And I just kept searching, you know, sites that I knew, you know, sites that I wouldn't usually use. And I found it, you know, saved, you know, probably like about $45 just by doing a little bit of hunting. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it doesn't take much time.
And that $45 is another figure. That's the way I look at
it. Exactly. 45 saved is 45 earned in my book. So,
right.
You know, Extra said we're all here. You know, you could reach out to any of us. You know, we do shout ourselves out, and feel free to, you know, connect with any of us.
I got a question for the community.
Go ahead.
Who all has a Voltron?
All those stormtroopers I sent you, JD. All those stormtroopers that I hunted and sent you. That's how
Look at that. Look how beautiful. Look how beautiful. What audio listeners?
Gary, these guys, your friends, man.
Dude, fuck all you guys. I'm gonna wait for them to make like the vehicle one. I'm gonna buy that one. just out of spite. Just out of spite.
That's great.
Gary's gonna be like, "Where's
the Voltron no one cares about, but he's got an ab crunch."
Exactly.
Oh wait, this one has a slight ab crunch.
Gary's gonna be like, "You guys gonna be calling when we went Triptychons and Ollies."
You got it, exactly. You'll see the back of my truck loaded.
Oh man, so funny. Well, all right, guys. Well, let's just start shouting everybody else in the chat. We did promise a giveaway for one lucky person in chat.
Whoa.
So, Brian Brink, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, take it away.
There's some people trickling in here.
And is it true?
Oh, they're coming in. They're coming in last minute.
I kind of feel like we need those sound effects for the old school lotteries, right? With like the balls, like the bingo, like in the big thing, like the.
So
you're saying Brian's our Vanna White?
When he runs the listen.
Oh boy! Now I got to Photoshop that.
Brian's been hey, listen, Brian's been working on the wellness challenge, so like give him some credit.
That's right. We'll see how it goes.
Put Dom's head on the wheel, on the spinner, the thing that clicks around.
That's a good idea. Yeah. That's a great idea.
Sorry, Brian.
No problem. So let's see what we got going on here. We have. Pardon me. All right, we have Night Wingingham is in the chat.
Wingingham.
Got Sunday Heat, Rogue War, KJ Smith. We have Josh F, Knight of Ren, Lance. What's up, Lance? Let's see, EE Prime 20, Jason L, Sean S. We have Eric Tron in here. Eric Tron, open a window.
What's up, E?
It's stuffy in there. We got Rexbot, Lord Shadow Keeper, BZ Fresh. We have K-Tron. We have Menosaur 36, who I believe is Damn Plastic.
DPC?
Yep. And we have Jason Y, Rob M, The True Star Screamer. We have Alex C, Patrick L, Frogman 78. We have Ralph L in here. Retro Now is in here. Craig R.
Retro.
We got Masterpiece Shitpiece in here. What's up, Nick?
Nick.
We got Nerd Out. Nerd Out's in here. We got Eddie C. And God, dude, man, you gotta help me how to pronounce this someday. Juriyasama 7. I hope I got that right. Soundwave Will. We had Charles here from Plastic Fanatics. Johnny L. is in here. And that is all. So thanks, guys, for chatting it up. And I want to let you know that we're now going to do the giveaway where you can win a Jaina Solo.
Whoa.
Nice.
Right.
Nice. Is that one a little hard to get out there? How is that?
It might be.
Okay.
I know it was a few weeks ago when people were really chomping at the bit.
Nice.
All right. So just let me do the screen sharing. All right. So we're going to go to random.org. Can you guys see this, by the way?
Yes,
sir.
Yep.
All right, good. So I got a few people to add in here real quick. We get Charles.
Optimus
Johnny.
4 Prez.
Johnny L.
Where the fuck is Chuck?
Yeah,
I don't know.
he was invited.
He's been busy working.
we invited him today, and he didn't show up. Man, what the fuck?
It says he's out.
All right. Random.org.
Boom, boom.
Do.
Randomize.
See here.
See, that's why you can't invite Chuck to anything. So he only shows up when he's not invited.
Uninvited.
Oh yeah.
So
He's the opposite of Beetlejuice, right?
exactly. Hence,
Who
the hell invited
a
Chuck?
random number? We love you, Chuck. We love you.
All right.
Boom. Let's see
Dum,
who
dum,
wins.
dum, dum.
So how many people? 32 total?
32.
Awesome. Thanks for popping in the chat, guys. Thank you.
All right. So we come back here to the home. And we do min is 1, max 32. Generate.
Pick the
Got
number
23.
23.
My bullshit.
Jordan.
Oh, sorry, Nick.
23. Who wins? Who wins? Oh, let's keep it in
It's gonna be-
suspense. He's going up. He's going up. He's going up.
One more. Jason
Jason
Y.
Y.
That's right.
Woo! Awesome.
Nice, Jay.
Jason.
Congrats, brother.
Very cool.
Good shit, man.
That dude, he is killing it in the ROC. And you know
Sure
what?
is.
He's been awesome popping into the after hangouts with us. Always kind of in there chatting it up with us. And that's been really cool as well. So congrats, brother.
Yeah, hell yeah. He's a cool dude, man. He hit me up earlier this week, too. And I really like him. I really like that guy.
Oh yeah.
Cool dude.
Drama work too. Like he's pretty incredible when it comes to that. It's craft.
So So
Gary,
Gary, I gotta. Oh, sorry, Jose.
No, go ahead.
Gary, I gotta ask you. So, what happened after we left that night at Dust House?
Dude,
Voltron
so
showed up.
listen, no, I'll tell you, like I was soaring so strong, right, for those first few hours, and then
Chocolate.
it
You were
was
fucking flying. I don't know.
dude. I know it was good, but I stopped.
Chocolate chip cookie wasted.
And I switched. Listen, wellness was on a break for that day. No, so I gotta. You know that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 where like the baby Groot, like Rocket gives him like the bomb and it's like, don't touch this button. He's like, oh, I'm gonna touch that button, right? It's not supposed to. So Dust had the water cooler set up, right, with that 5-gallon, just regular like you have like in your office.
Right.
And one of the buttons like you couldn't use because it would like make it leak or something like that, right? There were 3 buttons there. It's like hot, one not to touch, and then like the one that you could use. Well, as I was enjoying myself and I switched over from the alcoholic beverages to the water, and you guys know, anyone who has also seen me at one of these events, like I drink water like nonstop, like you're supposed to. Every time I went over that damn filter, I had to think so hard about which button to touch, so I didn't fuck up and like spill water like all over his kitchen floor. It was like so stressful. But
he had the big thing, the warning sign on it that said no.
Yes,
no,
every time.
No, don't touch this button.
Yeah, but when you're drunk, you can't read that.
Exactly.
It says on. You're like,
I would just, and
okay.
that's all I kept thinking about was like fucking baby Groot, you know what I mean? And just like, which one am I going to touch? Which one? I had to think and fill it up.
So funny.
Oh,
so funny.
Man, that chicken dip was the bomb.
Oh,
that
my
buffalo
God,
chicken dip.
Bomb. That shit was.
And shout
I'm
out
gonna make that actually. I'm gonna make that this weekend.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Gary. I know it's not wellness approved.
Hey, Jose, you make that every night, as far as I'm. and shout out to those ribs, man. Those things were
Oh yeah, the ribs too. That's the only reason I went. I only went for the ribs, not for y'all.
And then again with the wellness, I made it known, but the freaking pizza, man. Like we had that after the Toy Con, right? So I was bugging Dust. God, he probably put up with my annoyances like once a week. I'm like, hey, when we come to your house, we're gonna get pizza, right? We're gonna get pizza, right? He's like, yeah, fuck, we'll get pizza. Relax, Gary, right? And then I don't know, what was it, like 2:00 after just barely 2 hours? Like, hey, when are we ordering the pizza? He's like, dude, he's like, chill out. But yeah, there was definitely there's none left. That's for sure.
We were really well fed. I gotta say that.
Yeah,
you really did it up with the food, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Chris, man. You took care of us, man. Thank you, Dust. We'll talk about that a little bit more. We're going to post a link to the after show in the ROC Facebook group. So that's going to be pretty much it for us tonight, guys. We thank everybody that watched and listened. Thank you to everybody in the chat. And congrats to Jason Y for winning the Week 3 giveaway. Before we head out, guys, remember to check out the website, realmofcollectors.com. The newly revamped site has a blog section headed up by Paul C. with submissions from members all throughout the realm. You can see the photos from the Spotlight segment on ETR, and merchandise is available. $13 will get you a pair of Rock branded shot glasses shipped anywhere in the continental U.S. $30 for the Rock Friends and Family t-shirt, and $20 for a cap or beanie of your choice. I think quantities are extremely limited on that. So get your orders in while you can. Shout out to friends of the show at Figure Photography Crate on Instagram, Tim K, Third Party Unlimited, and TFPrototype.com. Cobra Law Records, the latest album from Nathan Haskell of Cabbages and Kings, is available on his SoundCloud, so be sure to check that out. Join us on Facebook, where there is a group, Realm of Collectors. We're on Instagram at Realm of Collectors. Send in the What's in the Fucking Box and Shelf Live videos to enter the realmcast@gmail.com. Show is part of a Cool Table network, so please pull up a chair. It includes the Cool Table is a hub for like-minded podcasts, including Enter the Realm, Plastic Fanatics, Shattercast Uncut, Toy Detox, Nerd Rage Radio, Beer and Bolts' 40K, Stasis Lock, 8 Weeks, Lego Show, Fresh Communication, and Figure Banging. I'm not sure if this is a Figure Banging week, but if it is, it's no longer on Wednesdays. It is now Thursdays, 9:30 p.m.
I think we're good to go this week.
Yep. Remember to check that out. You can find the Cool Table on Facebook and subscribe to all these other great podcasts on iTunes and Google Play, as well as through the feed on our website. You can send any feedback from this show to our new email, breakingthemoldcast@gmail.com. So that's going to do it for us tonight, guys. That's our show. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you to everybody listening. We are the ROC. So get to know us, guys. See you next week.
See ya.
See you guys.
And pickles.